So you're thinking about moving to Woodinville, Washington. Well, you're gonna wanna stick around because in this video, we're gonna go in depth. We're gonna jump into my computer, look at Google Maps, and show you around Woodinville, Washington. Not only Woodinville, but the surrounding area as well, so that you know what it's like to actually be in Woodinville, Washington. So stick around. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, click that bell for notifications so that you get notified every time we come out with a new video highlighting one of our favorite communities here in King County, Washington, like we're doing today in Woodinville. My name is Derek Decater, one of the owners here at the Decater Home Team, and we get calls, texts, emails, DMs from people just like you who want to learn more about what it's like to move to King County, Washington. In this video, we are gonna go jump in my computer, we're gonna jump into Google Maps and take a look around Woodinville, Washington so that you know everything there is to know about living in Woodinville. All right, so here we are in Google Maps to take a look at Woodinville. The purpose of this video is just to kind of give you a high level view of the surrounding area, and then we'll kind of dig deep into what's actually in and around Woodinville as well. And then we'll kind of touch on some of the areas that we visited in terms of the low, medium, and high price points from a housing standpoint as well. But just to give you a lay of the land a little bit, here we are in Google Maps. We got Woodinville highlighted right here. If I zoom out, you can kind of get a feel for where we are at in the state of Washington. So as you can see, we are just north of Bellevue on 405. 405 and the 522 will kind of be your main ways in and out of Woodinville. Although a lot of people coming from the south, and especially kind of that Issaquah, Carnation, 202 will actually also be a main drag to get in and out, especially here from Redmond also. So if I zoom out just a little bit, kind of give you some driving times here. If we pull up our little pixel, oh, nope, not our pixel helper. If we pull up our paint tool, some of the main areas that we're gonna be going to, Seattle is obviously going to be a major hub. So we can take that 522 and come all the way down to I-5 into Seattle. We can also just jump on the 405 and hop over on 520 or 405 down to 90 and come over that way. Downtown Seattle, right where 90 meets I-5 is where you're going to have your stadiums, your football and baseball stadiums, Lumen Field, and T-Mobile Park. All of these are going to be fairly similar drive times depending on the times that you're leaving. Bellevue is going to get pretty backed up on 405 if you're going through rush hour. Without rush hour, you're looking at a 25-minute drive, give or take, depending on the route that you go. So not terrible, but you are a little bit farther north. You are on that main highway of 405 or I-5. 520 can get backed up as well if you're going in at busy times. All right, so that's kind of into Seattle. Again, somewhere in that 25-minute mark. If we were going to go all the way down, if we zoom out a little bit farther here, if we're going to go all the way down into SeaTac, again, going to take that 405 most likely straight down all the way into SeaTac. And that's just going to basically terminate right there at SeaTac. That's going to be about a 35-minute drive. To Bellevue, same thing, jumping on the 405 straight into Bellevue. You're looking at 20 to 25 minutes from there. And if you want to go a little bit shorter, Kirkland is a very hot spot. Lots to do down there in Kirkland as well. So again, 405 down into Kirkland, and that's only going to be about a 10 to 15-minute drive. So you are a little bit farther out, a little bit farther north in Woodinville, and we see that in the drive times, but you are very close to the downtowns, to the Bellevues and to the Seattles and all that those have to offer as well. And those drive times are mostly going from the the Woodinville Sports Park, which is kind of right downtown in Woodinville. Once you're in Woodinville, there's a couple main kind of hubs. Obviously, here's the town center. Town center is going to be where you have a lot of your cafes, a lot of your restaurants, a lot of your shopping is there as well. The Tipsy Cow is actually the location that we did in the vlog, where we had some lunch afterwards and talked a little bit. So that's kind of going to be your central hub in Woodinville when you are a resident. For a lot of people who are visiting Woodinville, they're actually going to stay a little bit farther south, but not drastically, and they're going to be hanging out kind of in this wine district. There's 4 separate wine districts in Woodinville. It's very known for its wine country, its vineyards, its tasting rooms. Anywhere in King County, anywhere in Washington, if you say Woodinville, if you say you're going out to Woodinville, odds are you're going wine tasting and you're going to hit up some of the restaurants, or you're going to one of the local distilleries or breweries as well. If we just kind of pop around some of the hot spots, or some of the highlights, I would say, of Woodinville, you've got the Woodinville Sports Complex, which I'm showing here. It's a very large field. A lot of these sports activities are going to happen there, and that is right in downtown, 5 minutes off of the freeway, so very easy to get to if you're living in Woodinville or around Woodinville. You've got a little bit farther south, you've got the Woodinville Sports Club, which we visit in our vlog tour as well. So I'll definitely check out that vlog. We kind of show you around that Woodinville Sports Club, but indoor training facility, weight room, gym. It's got your indoor tennis courts as well. It's got a little mini putt range. It's got a driving range. So lots of things to do in that Woodinville Sports Club. It's a very popular spot for the residents there in Woodinville. You've got the Chateau Ste. Michelle Winery, one of the top wineries in the area, not just for the wine, not just for the vineyard, but they also put on some very large scale, some large scale concerts in the summer with some fairly large names. And so in the summer, it's not uncommon to have some big named artists come and do a show there at Chateau Ste. Michelle. Just up the road is the Woodinville Whiskey Company, another spot that we touch on in our vlog tour, so check that out. You've got Over the Rainbow Hot Air Balloon rides, which is a pretty cool and unique thing in Woodinville as well. You'll see these up in the air quite a bit if you're anywhere up north of Bellevue in the summer. Just phenomenal views. I haven't done it yet, but it is on my bucket list of things to do. It's a very well-known area, or a very well-known thing to do there in Woodinville as well. Here's the Tipsy Cow, which I touched on as well. Great burgers, phenomenal milkshakes, and like I said, that is really in that shopping center, that heart of Woodinville, if you will. The Industrial Valley here is where a lot is happening. Also, up on this West Ridge, it's a pretty cool area. Our very first stop to go look at one of the condos is up on that West Ridge. It actually looks down into the valley, and you can go and you can actually see downtown Woodinville from there as well. Woodinville High School is going to be one of your main high schools, is right off the freeway. They're up kind of in that northwest corner. From a housing standpoint, as I touched on, this West Ridge has quite a few developments in there. The condo that we went and touched and looked at is up on that West Ridge. We also go and visit the Hollywood Hill area. This Hollywood Hill area is up on the hill, again, kind of looking down into Woodinville. The homes up there, you're going to be getting higher price points, but you're getting a lot of acreage in this Woodinville, in this Hollywood Hills area. Woodinville downtown, Woodinville is a very well developed downtown. Once you start to get up onto the hills, out of that valley, you really do start to get into areas where there is a lot more acreage. It's a lot of people with horses. There's a lot of areas to go and ride. There's lots of trails. There's lots of parks, but much more bang for your buck from a dollar standpoint in terms of land. You can't find some of these areas with this much land in other areas of King County, and that is a big draw for those who are looking for some land, who kind of want that country living, but still have access and can still get into and out of the bigger city as well. Because like I said, it's only 20-25 minutes to some of these larger cities, and you can still have a beautiful home on acreage in this Woodinville area, depending on kind of where you are at. One of the other homes that we go and visit, it's kind of that mid price point, is up in that northeast corner of Woodinville. Lots and lots of developments up there. Still going to get a good chunk of land in some of these areas, depending on where you're at. Not quite the same as that Hollywood Hills, but you still get quite a bit of property up there as well. If we jump into the MLS here, we can actually show you what is actually live right now. So as I talked about, here's that West Ridge, which I touched on. Some of these homes here on the West Ridge, beautiful area. Like I said, looking down into that industrial valley, looking down into the downtown Woodinville area. Some beautiful homes up there, some great neighborhoods. You also have the condos that we touch on in our stop number 1 as we look at homes. That Hollywood Hills area is going to be over here. And as you can see, these price points get a little bit higher. 3 million over here, 8 million over here, 7 bedrooms, 6.5 bath. You got about 2.5, 2.6 million. Again, these priced homes, the homes are gorgeous, which we'll show you as we tour some of these areas, but you're also paying for the privacy and the land that you can't get in other areas. As we zoom out a little bit, we can go up a little bit farther north. You're still looking in that higher price point. You're still looking at those 1.1s and 1.2s and up in the Woodinville area, because again, it is a very sought after location. It's close to the city, but you get the privacy and you get the land that you can't necessarily find in other areas of King County. Even just looking at this map, we can see here in Woodinville all this green, right? This is a lot different than as we move a little bit west. And that is a huge draw for a lot of our buyers is, hey, I want something with a little bit of land, but I want to have access to getting to downtown. I don't want to be out in the quote unquote sticks. And this kind of fits that bill. You get the property, you get the beautiful homes, you get the large neighborhoods, you have access to all of your shopping and your restaurants in Woodinville, and you can still jump on the freeways, jump on the highways, and be downtown Seattle and downtown Bellevue fairly quickly. Overall, Woodinville is a growing area as you especially branch out into kind of the edges of Woodinville because of everything it does have to offer. Now, is it the most walkable city that you can buy a home in? No, because we are getting into those areas where there is more land. And because of that, you really do need to typically kind of drive into that downtown area to go and walk around, go to the grocery store, go to Costco, go shopping, hit the restaurants, go to the wineries. Once you're down there, walkability is great. But if you are in a home that is a little farther out, you're going to have to get into downtown first before you get out of the car, park the car, and go walk around. Again, when you think Woodinville, you think kind of that country living, but with access to all the other finer things that the bigger cities have to offer. And because of that, it is still a major hub, a major draw for a lot of the residents around here, especially if you enjoy privacy, if you enjoy land, if you have animals, if you have horses. That's going to be a location that is highly sought after. And a lot of these homes, even at that higher price point, do go fairly quickly when compared to some of those price points in other areas, because you just can't necessarily find what it has to offer in other regions in King County. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of an overview. Again, if we zoom out just to give you a feel for where we're at one more time, here we are. There's that Tipsy Cow just north of Bellevue and Seattle. Over here to the east, we've got Issaquah. We've got Snoqualmie Falls down here, Snoqualmie Pass, I'm sorry, down on I-90, and Renton to the south here on your way to SeaTac. So a very cool spot. One of our favorite areas to just kind of go for a night out. go wine tasting. Maybe you go and get a one night stay at one of the local wineries there that has a restaurant and a hotel. You kind of spend the night, you have a good night out. Great place for a quiet night out to go wine tasting. And that's Woodinville for you. So a very cool area. If you have any questions, please let me know.